Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says 10 crore rural households in the country connected to piped water facility. Addresses Har Ghar Jal Utsav virtually at Panaji in Goa. People's participation and power of technology driving Jal Jeevan mission, asserts Prime Minister. Congratulates Goa for becoming first Har Ghar Jal certified state. Over 1 lakh villages across the country turned ODF+. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh exhorts armed forces to keep national flag high through unflinching dedication. Says nation can achieve absolute potential only when its borders are safe. CBI lists 15 accused, including Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, in FIR related to excise policy case. Janmashtami, marking birth of Lord Krishna, being celebrated in various parts of the country. Devotees throng temples on the occasion. Sports Ministry requests FIFA and AFC to allow Indian clubs to play in scheduled football tournaments. In Durand Cup football, FC Goa defeat Indian Air Force 1-0 in Kolkata. And in cricket, India to take on Zimbabwe in second ODI of 3-match series at Harare tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said 10 crore rural households of the country have been connected to piped clean water facility. He termed it as a big success of the government's campaign to deliver water to every household. Mr. Modi said this is a great example of Sabka Prayas. The Prime Minister was addressing the Har Ghar Jal Utsav at Panaji in Goa under Jal Jeevan mission through a video message. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant, Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat were present on the occasion.
आज देश के 10 करोड़ ग्रामीण परिवार पाइप से स्वच्छ पानी की सुविधा से जुड़ चुके हैं। एक घर जल पहुंचाने की सरकार के अभियान की एक बहुत बड़ी सफलता है। ये सबका प्रयास का बेहतरीन उदाहरण भी है। मैं इस उपलब्धि के लिए हर देशवासी को और विशेषकर माताओं बहनों को बधाई देता हूं।
The Prime Minister congratulated the people of Goa for becoming the first Har Ghar Jal certified state where every household is connected to piped water. He also acknowledged Dadra Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu as first union territories to achieve the feat. Mr. Modi lauded the people, government and local self-government institutions for their efforts. He said many states are going to join the list very soon. The Prime Minister hailed the feat of connecting 7 crore rural households with piped water in just 3 years, compared to last 7 decades since independence, during which only 3 crore households had this facility. He said there cannot be a better beginning of Amrit Kal.
दादरा नगर हवेली एवं दीव और दमन भी हर घर जल सर्टिफाइड केंद्र शासित प्रदेश बन गए हैं। बीते कुछ वर्षों में देश के हर बड़े मिशन में गोवा अग्रणी भूमिका निभाता जा रहा है। गोवा की जनता जिस प्रकार हर घर जल मिशन को आगे बढ़ाया है, वह पूरे देश को प्रेरित करने वाला है।
Mr. Modi informed that 1 lakh villages in different states of the country have turned open defecation free plus. An ODF plus village is defined as a village which sustains its open defecation free status, ensures solid and liquid waste management and is visually clean.
कुछ साल पहले सभी देशवासियों के प्रयासों से देश खुले में शौच से मुक्त घोषित हुआ था। इसके बाद हमने संकल्प लिया था कि गांवों को ODF प्लस बनाएंगे, यानी कम्युनिटी टॉयलेट्स, प्लास्टिक वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, ग्रे वाटर मैनेजमेंट, गोबर्धन प्रोजेक्ट, ऐसी सुविधाएं विकसित की जाएगी। अब देश के अलग अलग राज्यों के 1 लाख से ज्यादा गांव ODF प्लस हो चुके हैं।
The Prime Minister highlighted the benefit of Har Ghar Jal for the future generation and women. He said it is improving the ease of living for women and giving them a key role in water governance. Mr. Modi asserted that Jal Jeevan Abhiyan is not just a government scheme, but it is a scheme run by the community for the community. The Prime Minister said that 4 pillars that are at the basis of the success of Jal Jeevan Mission are people's participation, stakeholder participation, political will, and optimum utilization of resources. Referring to the use of technology like geotagging of water assets and Internet of Things solutions for water supply and quality control, Mr. Modi pointed out that people's power, women power, and power of technology are powering the Jal Jeevan Mission. Over 1 lakh villages have declared themselves as open defecation-free ODF+. The Jal Shakti Ministry said these villages are sustaining their ODF status and have systems in place for managing solid and liquid waste. They are also working towards making their villages cleaner, greener, and healthier. The top 5 performing states are Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, and Himachal Pradesh, where maximum number of villages have been declared as ODF+.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today interacted with Jawans of the Indian Army and the Assam Rifles at headquarters of Assam Rifles South in Imphal. Mr. Singh was accompanied by the Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Pandey and other top Army officers. During the visit, the Defence Minister was briefed about the counter-insurgency as well as border management operations on Indo-Myanmar border to maintain peace and tranquility in the region. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh appreciated the officers and soldiers for performing their duty with courage and conviction despite challenges posed by terrain and weather and improving the security situation in Manipur. The Defence Minister exhorted the forces to keep the national flag high through unflinching dedication, asserting that the nation can achieve absolute potential only when its borders are safe.
मैं आपके प्रोफेशन को मोर देन प्रोफेशन मानता हूँ, मोर देन सर्विस मानता हूँ। आप ये सोचेंगे कि हमारी सेवा को क्यों मान रहे हैं? इसलिए मैं मानता हूँ कि जरूरत पड़ने पर अपना सब कुछ न्यौछावर कर देने की तड़पन और इच्छा यदि किसी के अंदर होती है तो हमारे भारत के सेना के जवानों के अंदर होती है।
Mr. Singh commended the stellar role of Assam Rifles in the last 7 decades and their immense contribution in internal security, securing Indo-Myanmar border and key role in bringing Northeast into the national mainstream. He said, for this reason they are called Friends of the Northeast people and Sentinels of Northeast. An Indian Air Force contingent has reached Australia to participate in Exercise Pitch Black 2022. The exercise is being held in Darwin till 8th of next month. This is a biennial multinational exercise hosted by the Royal Australian Air Force. The Defence Ministry said that the exercise will see the participation of over 100 aircraft and 2,500 military personnel from various air forces. The Indian Air Force contingent comprises over 100 air warriors deployed with 4 Su-30 MKI fighter and 2 C-17 aircraft.
The first Army recruitment rally of Uttar Pradesh for enrollment of Agniveers began in Fatehgarh today. It will continue till the 8th of next month. Defence PRO Central Command Shantanu Pratap Singh informed AIR News that the rally covers 12 districts of Bareilly, Bahraich, Balrampur, Badaयूं, Farrukhabad, Hardoi, Lakhimpur Kheri, Pilibhit, Sambhal, Shahjahanpur, Shravasti and Sitapur. He said approximately 4,500 candidates appeared on the first day from 3 tehsils of Farrukhabad district. Delhi Police Special Cell has apprehended Mohammad Yasin from the national capital in connection with funding of terror outfits Lashkar-e-Taiba and Al-Badr. He was working as an agent in Hawala transactions. Delhi Police arrested the accused in a joint operation with Jammu and Kashmir Police and central agencies. It was alleged that Mohammad Yasin gave around 10 lakh rupees to a terror operative, Abdul Hamid Mir of Jammu and Kashmir, for further use in terrorist activities.
In Tripura, a head constable of 145th Battalion of the Border Security Force BSF was killed in Panisagar sector today when his patrol team came under indiscriminate firing by a group of suspected NLFT insurgents. There was an exchange of fire between the patrol party and the insurgents, after which they fled from the site under cover of dense forest. The head constable, who had sustained bullet injuries, was evacuated by helicopter to Agartala, where he succumbed to his injuries. Inspector General of BSF in Tripura, along with his team, has reached the site and supervising the operations in close coordination with Border Guard Bangladesh to track down the insurgents responsible for the attack. Deputy National Security Advisor Vikram Misri participated in Shanghai Cooperation Organization's NSA's meeting at Tashkent in Uzbekistan. In the meeting, India's humanitarian assistance to Afghan people was emphasized. India has called for combating terrorism, terror financing, transnational organized crime, illicit drug trafficking, and strengthening information security.
An Indian parliamentary delegation led by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla will be attending the 65th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference CPA at Halifax in Canada. This conference is scheduled to be held from tomorrow to the 26th of this month. The conference will also be attended by 23 presiding officers and 16 secretaries from state legislatures from India who are also members of CPA.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says 10 crore rural households in the country connected to piped water facility. Addresses Har Ghar Jal Utsav virtually at Panaji in Goa. People's participation and power of technology driving Jal Jeevan mission, asserts Prime Minister, congratulates Goa for becoming first Har Ghar Jal certified state. Over 1 lakh villages across the country turned ODS+. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh exhorts armed forces to keep national flag high through unflinching dedication. Says nation can achieve absolute potential only when its borders are safe. CBI names 15 accused, including Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, in FIR related to excise policy case. Janmashtami, marking birth of Lord Krishna, being celebrated in various parts of the country. Devotees throng temples on the occasion. Sports Ministry requests FIFA and AFC to allow Indian clubs to play in scheduled football tournaments. In Durand Cup football, FC Goa defeat Indian Air Force 1-0 in Kolkata. And in cricket, India to take on Zimbabwe in second ODI of 3-match series at Harare tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथ वाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
The Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) has lodged an FIR against Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi Manish Sisodia in the alleged violations of rules and procedural lapses in the new liquor policy. 14 other persons, including excise officials, liquor company executives, unknown public servants, and private persons, have also been named in the FIR. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena had recommended a CBI probe over the alleged violations of rules and procedural lapses in the policy. CBI today carried out searches at different locations in Delhi NCR, including the residence of Manish Sisodia. During the search operation, Mr. Sisodia said he will give full cooperation in the investigation so that truth can come out soon. He said till now, many cases have been filed against him, but nothing has come out. Senior BJP leader and Union Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said, no matter how hard a corrupt person tries to prove himself innocent, he will still remain corrupt. He said this is not the first case of corruption by Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Thakur said there has been huge corruption in liquor stores in Delhi.
आज मुद्दा है शराब के ठेकों का, शराब के ठेकों में हुए भ्रष्टाचार का, और इस विभाग के मंत्री हैं मनीष सिसोदिया जी। जिस दिन सीबीआई को जांच दी उसी दिन शराब नीति को वापस लिया। अगर शराब नीति में कोई घोटाला नहीं था तो उसको वापस क्यों लिया? क्योंकि शराब के ठेकों में दिल्ली में भयंकर भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया की सांठगांठ सामने आई। सीबीआई और जांच की डर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को मजबूर करती है ट्वीट करने पर कि ये शिक्षा नहीं, ये शराब की बात हो रही है और आम आदमी पार्टी के शराब के ठेकों में हुए भ्रष्टाचार की बात हो रही है।
The government has extended the service of Union Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla for a period of 1 year. The Appointment Committee of the Cabinet has approved extension in service to Mr. Bhalla as Home Secretary for a period of 1 year up to the 22nd of August 2023.
The 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2023 will be held at Indore in January next year. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi in a tweet said that Secretary, Consular, Passport and Visa Division, Asaf Sayeed and Chief Secretary of Madhya Pradesh, Iqbal Singh Bains, signed a memorandum of understanding for hosting the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. On the occasion, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan was also present. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is celebrated every year on 9th of January to mark the contribution of overseas Indian community in the development of India. It also commemorates the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to India on 9th of January 1915. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath, reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. Starting 15th August, the series will be broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of our first general elections, which were held from 25th of October 1951 to 21st of February 1952. Elections to most of the state legislatures also took place simultaneously.
Preparing for the first general elections in independent India was a mammoth exercise. No election on this scale had ever been conducted in the world before. There were about 17 crore eligible voters who had to elect about 3,200 MLAs and 489 members of the Lok Sabha. Only 15% of these eligible voters were literate.
Though the elected leaders of a free nation enjoy the confidence of their people, it is the people themselves, unknown and unsung, who weave and wear the fabric of democracy. What follows here is the record of such a people, the people of our nation who played a worthy, active part in a great experiment, the experiment of free India's first general election.
The Constitution granted voting rights to the entire population, including men and women. At that time, even many countries in Europe had not given voting rights to women.
The aims and ideals that became reality on our attaining independence were well expressed through the Adult Franchise Clause, incorporated in our Constitution. Universal adult franchise, a phrase that became a fact. A phrase which conferred on nearly half our total population the right to vote, the right to frame the form of government most suited to our needs. For a nation that had emerged so recently from foreign rule, it was a big step, a bold step forward.
During the polls, the Election Commission used All India Radio to educate the public on the Constitution, universal adult franchise, registration of voters, and the voting process.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath can be accessed on AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath.
The Janmashtami festival marking the birth of Lord Krishna is being celebrated in various parts of the country today. Devotees are visiting temples to offer prayers to Lord Krishna. Mathura and Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh are fully decked up on the occasion. Thousands of temples, including Banke Bihari Mandir, Prem Mandir, ISKCON, and Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi, have been beautifully decorated in Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also took the blessings of Lord Krishna in Mathura. Our correspondent reports the Chief Minister inaugurated several facilities for tourists and devotees in the holy city.
नंद को आनंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की, हाथी घोड़ा पाल की जय कन्हैया लाल की. Rhymes and slogans on the birth of Lord Krishna are reverberating entire Mathura city and adjoining areas. All roads are leading to Vrindavan, Gokul, Nandgram, Govardhan and Barsana, where the temples have been adorned with flowers and beautiful lightings for the celebration of Lord Krishna's birthday at midnight. Lakhs of devotees have thronged Krishna Janmabhoomi for Janmashtami celebrations. Many foreign nationals are also chanting, dancing on the bhajans of Lord Krishna. In other cities also, people have decorated tableau of Lord Krishna in their homes and waiting eagerly for the midnight. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Gujarat, the main celebrations of Shri Krishna Janmashtami are being held at Jagat Mandir in Devbhoomi Dwarka and Lord Ranchhodji Temple in Dakor. Our correspondent reports that thousands of devotees have gathered at Dwarka and Dakor to participate in special programs to be held at midnight.
Large number of devotees is expected to participate in Sri Krishna Janmotsav programs at Dwarka and Dakor after the ease of COVID-19 pandemic. At Dwarka, after the morning pujas, the devotees are witnessing Sayan Bhog, Sayan Arti and Mahabhog, followed by Sri Krishna Janmotsav to be held during midnight. Devasthan Committee of Dwarka has arranged a special live webcasting of Sri Krishna Janmotsav program. Devotees are also participating in special pujas and functions being held at Sola Bhagwat Vidyapith, ISKCON Temple and Sri Hare Krishna Temple in Ahmedabad. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Krishna Janmashtami is being celebrated with religious fervor in the famous temple town of Udupi in Karnataka today. The pilgrimage town in Karnataka is known for Lord Krishna Temple, where the devotees worship the Lord through a window called Kanakana Kindi. Our correspondent has more on this.
At midnight today, the Seer Vidyasagar Tirtha Swamiji will perform Mahapuja of the deity. Known in local parlance as Arghya Pradhana ritual, the Seer will offer milk and water to the specially made clay idol of Lord Krishna at the sanctum of the temple. The clay idol is immersed in the temple lake called Madhva Sarovar in front of temple tomorrow morning. The Seers and devotees will take a holy dip in the holy lake. The important ritual of Vithala Pindi and Sri Krishna Lilotsav will also be performed tomorrow morning. Laddus and chakli are distributed as prasad. In the afternoon, a colorful procession of the spring deity will be held along with folk and cultural troops in the Car Street. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Maharashtra, Mumbai and Thane are experiencing Dahi Handi celebration this year after the break of 2 years. The festival was not observed during the last 2 years due to COVID-19 pandemic. Several Govinda teams in Mumbai and Thane are building formidably high human towers, winning hearts of people and cash prizes announced by various organizers. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The streets of Mumbai, Thane, Navi Mumbai and various parts of Maharashtra were flooded with people and Govindas on the occasion of Dahi Handi celebration. Loud music, traditional songs and Govinda Ala Re Ala slogans resonated on the roads of Mumbai and Thane in particular. Few Govinda teams tried to build 8 to 9 tier of human pyramids, surprising everyone by their skill and discipline. Prizes of crores of rupees have been given to these Govinda teams by various organizers. During the course of building this human pyramid, 78 Govindas were injured in Mumbai. With Jeevan Bhavsar, Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted fellow citizens living in India and abroad on the auspicious occasion. The World Humanitarian Day, WHD, is being observed today. The day aims to spread awareness about the need for humanitarian assistance worldwide. We have a report.
World Humanitarian Day is a campaign by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, and humanitarian partners. On 19th of August 2003, a bomb attack on the Canal Hotel at Baghdad in Iraq killed 22 humanitarian aid workers, including the UN Special Representative of the Secretary-General for Iraq, Sergio Vieira de Mello. 5 years later, the General Assembly adopted a resolution designating 19th of August as World Humanitarian Day. The theme of World Humanitarian Day this year is highlighting the immediate human cost of the climate crisis by pressurizing world leaders to take meaningful climate action for the world's most vulnerable people. With Virendra Singh's report, Anuja Kumar, AIR News.
World Photography Day is also being observed today. Photography is an art that enables people to freeze moments and cherish them forever. A single picture can embody a range of emotions and feelings that one can relive through a brief glance at it. Celebrating these qualities of the art form, World Photography Day is observed annually on the 19th of August. The day celebrates the art of clicking pictures, the technology behind it, and its history. It is celebrated by all those who practice this art form. The Sports Ministry has requested International Football Federation FIFA and Asian Football Confederation AFC to allow Indian club sides Sri Gokulam Kerala FC and ATK Mohun Bagan to compete in the scheduled football tournaments. In an email to FIFA and AFC, the Sports Ministry has highlighted the fact that Sri Gokulam Kerala FC was already in Uzbekistan when FIFA banned All India Football Federation. FIFA and AFC have been requested to allow the teams to play in the interest of the young players. Meanwhile, the ministry has also reached out to the Indian Embassy in Uzbekistan to extend assistance to the team. Sri Gokulam Kerala FC had already reached Uzbekistan ahead of its scheduled matches in the southern Uzbekistan city of Karshi. ATK Mohun Bagan is slated to play the AFC Cup 2022 Inter-Zone semi-finals on the 7th of next month in Bahrain.
In football, FC Goa defeated Indian Air Force by 1-0 in the Durand Cup at Kishori Bharati Stadium in Kolkata. The match between Sudeva Delhi and Kerala Blasters at Indira Gandhi Athletic Stadium in Guwahati ended in a draw 1-1. In cricket, the second one-day international of the three-match series between India and Zimbabwe will be played at Harare tomorrow. The match will begin at 12:45 p.m. India time. In the first ODI yesterday, visitors defeated hosts by 10 wickets.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast tomorrow. National capital Delhi is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. Mumbai is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Chennai will witness a generally cloudy sky. Srinagar is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Jammu will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad is expected to have thunderstorm with rain. Leh will have a mainly clear sky, while Gilgit will experience a generally cloudy sky. In the south, Hyderabad will experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. In the northeast, Guwahati will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of heavy rain or thunderstorm. And Imphal, Aizawl, Shillong, Gangtok, Kohima and Itanagar will have partly cloudy skies with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says 10 crore rural households in the country connected to piped water facility addresses Har Ghar Jal Utsav virtually at Panaji in Goa. People's participation and power of technology driving Jal Jeevan mission, asserts Prime Minister. Congratulates Goa for becoming first Har Ghar Jal certified state. Over 1 lakh villages across the country turned ODF plus. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh exhorts armed forces to keep national flag high through unflinching dedication, says nation can achieve absolute potential only when its borders are safe. CBI names 15 accused, including Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, in an FIR related to excise policy case. Janmashtami, marking birth of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated in various parts of the country. Devotees throng temples on the occasion. Sports Ministry requests FIFA and AFC to allow Indian clubs to play in scheduled football tournaments. In Durand Cup football, FC Goa defeat Indian Air Force 1-0 in Kolkata, and in cricket, India take on Zimbabwe in second ODI of three-match series at Harare tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.